G'day brothers and the occasional sister joining us today on the Bro Check Club. I hope you're well. I'm here in my brown paddock. It's very brown, we need rain, and directly below me you'll see two goats. There's Gary, there's Patch. Patch is like a shadow, and Patch is staying there for good reason because Pace, who's just over there, wants to eat Patch. This dog here is Nut, and that's my other dog Poe over there. And Pace is an addict. He's an addict. He's an addict to killing. That's a bit fucking harsh, man. I'm not an addict. Don't be saying that about me, man. I'm not an addict. You're an addict, mate. You can't help it. You just want to kill shit. Poe, she knows not to. This guy here, he's completely bulletproof, bomb-proof. And I just can't fucking help myself, man. If it's got 4 legs and it's not a doggy, I want to kill it. I can't help myself. Doesn't matter how many times I get a shock on the electric shock collar. If it's a goat, I want to hang my teeth into it. I want to chew it. I want to fucking kill it. You do, mate. There we have a problem. Because these are domestic creatures that you're not allowed to actually kill. So consequently, Patch stays in a place where she feels reasonably safe. Poe, she's good, aren't you, Poe? You're not going to touch anything. No, we've got to watch Pace. He's licking his lips, looking at those goats. He cannot be trusted. Doesn't matter how much training you do, it's in his blood. And that's the trouble with terrier breeds. For that reason, when mate Kim, she always has breed dogs like this. Dogs that are stable, that don't get out of control, and are steady. A bit of Mastiff for temperament and size. A bit of Greyhound for the length and the stretch and the speed. And a bit of Heading Dog for the brains and the working ethic. Whereas Pace, who's got his nose currently up Poe's bum, he's bred like, he's got terrier, he's got whippet, he's got a whole lot of other stuff I don't know because Wade that breeds him doesn't tell me. But one thing he's got him is that terrier, and those terriers, they just want to kill the fuck out of everything. But he's a really good pig dog too, and he's a good companion. Just cannot help himself. So we're going to watch you, don't we, Pace? That's right. We're going to watch you. I think you're being a bit fucking hard on me, man. I think you're being a bit hard. Listen to me, Pace McBride. That's just the truth. You want to kill shit, and I'm going to watch you all the time. Small little dog. He's my mate. Anyway, we'll try and move on without Gary tripping me up. It's pretty hard to walk. Well, it's actually Patch down here. Gary's over there. Keeping a nice distance. But yeah, trying to walk with Patch is just about impossible because Patch stays by me all the time like a little shadow. You could probably take this dog hunting, actually. This goat. Feels like a dog. You could probably take it in the hills and to keep up with you all day long. They're intelligent creatures. And as we're going about our day in the paddock, we're still picking up these blue things. I've been doing it for 5 days now. Getting a bit of a collection in the top pocket here. Not so many to go now, though, less and less. Gary's already started like mounting this wee goat so she could even get pregnant. In fact, looking at her belly, well, you've been eating a lot of grass so you got something in there. Just relax, Pace. I said in the last previous 4 videos I wasn't really thinking that the old throwback videos have been received very well. They weren't getting a lot of likes, and then they weren't getting a lot of views, and suddenly you've gone and all proved me wrong, and they've actually gone to the top of the rankings. So I don't know what to do sometimes. Sometimes what you think is going to work doesn't work, and sometimes what you just do for a bit of fun ends up working better than what you thought was going to work that you put your heart and soul into. Isn't that the same with life? You don't try sometimes and just naturally do it. So I've learnt something. Today my son is with me and I said, you need to clean the room up, son, because when you go away I want it tidy. Yeah, Dad. So he's having a big throw out and he gave me a big massive Bible that he's got, and I've been looking at that. That was interesting. Yesterday the Jehovah's Witness came around to see me. That was really interesting, and I thought they weren't allowed to call on you anymore. They stopped doing it for a while. They came around, and I don't know about that religion, eh? The woman, there was 2 women and a bloke. He was an old farmer, and the woman seemed very sort of suppressed. It's like he was doing all the talking, and every time I talked about something, and they were happy to talk to me and tell me about their beliefs and give me their papers. And then when I started telling them my story, didn't seem so interested. And the thing that actually made them drive away was when I said, look, because the guy said to me, he started off by saying to me, hey, there's good news. And I thought, I've heard that before. I've heard people that are running scams say that. Have you heard the good news, brother? Did you receive your money? Sound like the same sort of scam. And I said to him, there is good news. And after you've shared your good news, I'm going to share my good news with you. And he said, really? And I said, well, if we're sharing good news, we might as well share it all around, eh? What's your good news? He said, well, there's a perfect place on this planet where you can be born again and you can have perfect health and perfect. You won't have cancer anymore, there'll be no heart disease, and there'll be beautiful people walking around beside you, and everything will be just wonderful. And I said to him, that sounds like bloody hell to me. He like cocked his head. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'll give you a brief, just an outline why that'll be hell. The last 4 years I've struggled. I got cancer, and it taught me a lot about myself. I got sick and I lost things. I became erectile dysfunction, and the woman in the back smiled, and he was like looking at me like, you shouldn't be talking about that. And I thought, no, I'm just going to speak my truth here. I said, and then I got incontinence. And then I lost my friend Mark Stein. He was a musician. I loved him. He died of cancer. Him and I got cancer at the same time. He died. And then I had this gratitude that I'd actually lived, and I felt almost guilty I'd lived because we were good friends. And then down the track, my girlfriend abandoned me, and I felt really like lost, and I thought, God, I've suffered this terrible loss, and then little did I know in the future that I would gain someone that would love me again. And that was a good thing. And then I lost my dog Bruno, and that was terrible. Then a whole lot of friends died, and then I developed heart disease, and that was really, really bad. And he was like, yeah, and I said, yeah, and that was really, really bad. And I thought I was going to die then, and my chances of dying was 25% chance of sudden death at any given time. And when I got my bloods measured in the laboratory in Napier, my subfractions of my LDL was so bad that I was 16 times more likely to have a heart attack than nobody else. But you know what, I didn't. And all of these things happened, and then I was still getting over the grief of losing a young fella that I've been looking after called Smash, and I finally put that to rest one day when I was out in the bush, and I finally put to rest my grief and was able to let go the painful part and just keep the good memories. So that was a good thing. And then just when I thought I was starting to get better, my nephew drowned, and my son nearly drowned trying to save him. And by this time my girlfriend had completely abandoned me, and I felt really, really like the worst point in my life. Today there's also good news. And he said, well, what's the good news? I said, well, I love again. I've got someone else I love. And I've gone through the grieving process of losing my nephew. And I've put his soul to rest in a place where he can be at peace now. And the really good news is, pulled up my sleeve. I said, look at that big vein there. I've got another one now, and it's in my penis. Because of the vasodilation that's going on. The heart disease is getting better. That's the good news. And the woman on the back laughed, and he said, I think it's time we went. And I said, well, you come up to my place to tell me about your good news. You're not interested in hearing about my good news. He said, well, I don't think you're interested in hearing about my good news too. And I said, well, your good news isn't good news. I said, if we have a perfect place where there's no bad health and everything's perfect all the time, how do we have a contrast between good and bad? I'm elated that I've got this function back I'm lost. I'm elated that I've got my children with me today, that my son survived although he nearly drowned. There's a contrast. If it's all good all the time, that'd be a living hell. They looked at me and they couldn't get out. They couldn't get away from me fast enough. And they're welcome to come back any time they want. But I personally think that this church, I don't think it's right, because they teach you that there's only, 144,000 people are going to be going to this perfect place, and the rest are all going to be like, their bodies are going to be like strewn around and just turn into manure and go back in the ground and be nothing. So there's only 144,000 select few. Well, there's got to be more Jehovah's Witnesses than 144,000. So what happens to all the other faithful disciples that don't fit in 144,000? To me, it sounds like a big story that some bloke dreamed up while he's taking a good trip of acid, and doesn't make any logic. God? Well, what can you say about God? I think each individual person has their relationship with God, or no God at all, and it's their business, and nobody should be coming around with their car and their woman to try and tell you the good news and ram it down your throat if they're not prepared to listen to your good news. He sure as hell wasn't prepared to listen to my good news. I think he found it quite embarrassing. I think he found it quite uncomfortable. I could tell on his face. Although the lady sitting in the back seat, she was absorbing it all. She was actually smiling at me. She was actually hearing me. But I also feel that well, I don't know, and maybe those of you that have been in the church or that are in the Church of Jehovah's Witnesses can steer me right, can put me right. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just felt they were being suppressed, and he was being the boss, and he was only interested in one thing only. Anyway, I said to him, hey look, thanks for your time. I shook his hand. I said, keep your pamphlet, because I'm just going to throw it away if you give it to me, so you don't want to waste it, so keep it and give it to someone else who's not going to throw it away. And have a bloody good Christmas. So that was my little adventure yesterday. These guys are all getting on a bit better. Pace so far hasn't tried to kill Patch, who's still directly down here. Gary's found some trees over there. They love to chew trees, goats. We'll go over and see what he's found, eh? Little Pace is like, yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on Gary. Gary's chewing a bit of, I think it's oak tree, isn't it? Yeah, looks like a bit of oak tree. I bet that tastes good, some young shoots coming up. Well, yeah, the old goats, they've got a purpose really, haven't they? If he goes around the outside of my section, keeping that cleaned up, I don't have to spray it. Maybe he's got a job after all. He's having a good old munch on that, aren't you? Is that good, eh, Gary? Good tucker, eh? See why goats are so bloody destructive, eh? They kill trees like they just chew the hell out of them. Everything. You behave yourself, Pace. Pace's body language is not good. I'm watching you, mate. You behave yourself. You're just a good girl, aren't you, Poe? Damn right. Gary's enjoying that. Sure in a heap. What is that? There's got to be a bit of oak tree, doesn't it? Is that a young oak there? They have acorns on them, don't they? It looks like an oak leaf, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it is, but I can't remember. These are the trees beside the road. Pace just tried to bite Gary's bum then. He just can't help himself. Just can't help himself. Got the sneezes, eh, mate? You have a sneeze? What's that all about? Old Pace tried to bite him around the balls. The goat wasn't even interested, just turned around and gave him a bunt. You know what's going on, don't you? Hey, Nut? Good boy, Nut. He's got his ears back, he's a bit unsure. Pace wagging his tail like, oh, you fucking have another crack at that golf when he's not watching, man. Oh, you're going to have a little chew on it. Patch is staying right behind my leg down here. Keep him right down here. I can see you, mate. Where you going? Where you going? Oh, you're there. Yeah. Keep him right between my legs. Right between my boots. The safe zone. Well, this little wanker here's like got full eyes on. So, throwback videos are entertaining to you guys, and the Project Club is about relieving the tension of life, finding solutions for problems, sharing ideas. Yesterday I posted a wee video for one of you on how I set my weed whacker up, but everyone's got different setups, and that might have been useful to somebody. I might do a video on how I clean my rifle at some stage, or another sharpening technique with a knife, or stealing a knife, or it could be just more yarns. But as far as throwback stories go, if you guys are enjoying them, I'll keep on doing them, because to tell you the truth, they're a piece of piss to make. No work goes into them. I just go back to my memories of things in the past and talk about it. That's easy. That's a doddle. I can do that. So let me know what you want. If you want me to carry on Rusty the Pig Dog, we go up to part 4. The last one we ended up was where Louis, Karin's, and it's not Karen by the way, it's Karin is her name. Karin's ex, we sort of got him into hunting and got him away from her. And that story carries on. It goes into other adventures. We take Rusty the Pig Dog up into Wellington. That was interesting. I had to look after him from Mel for a whole 8 weeks. It ended up turn into be three months. That'd be quite an interesting story. I was playing music in bars in Wellington just to get meals. Going there with my harmonica and play a meal. I reckon that this dog here's got some constipation, because he's been doing that a lot. And he ate a whole rabbit yesterday. Oh, there we go. We got some movement now. Hallelujah. It's a bit like me on the toilet some mornings after I've had too much codeine for pain. I noticed my main ram is no longer hanging around with these guys. Gotta see what's going on with them. These guys are looking pretty good. He's underneath the trampoline. Been there all day. You okay, Chief? You right, mate? Oh, yep, he can hardly bloody walk. He's that fat. Look how fat he is. Look at the size of him. You right, buddy? Yeah? Okay. Bloody fat. He's not even walking well. He's just huge. He's having to pee where he's lying. Well, you're going to pee there and then you're going to lie back in that, aren't you? Like a bloody old goat. Fuck. Got to make sure this thing's working, because if it's not... Oh yeah, no, she's going good. He's still peeing. He's been peeing non-stop. Stood up and peeing like forever. He's going to bloody sit down to that, isn't he? Jeez. What I'd give to have a bladder that could hold that much. When are you going to stop, mate? You're still going. I guess he's got no problems with his prostate. So you're marking your spot. You got poop in there and you got pee in there. Just under there, and old Pace is like having a look. He's so fat he can hardly move. He's going to sit down somewhere else right beside his pee. Well, that was a good move anyway. Look at his nutsack hanging out. What a bloody nutsack. Look at the size of that. Jeez. Well, I don't know, mate, but you're just not quite yourself, are you? You haven't been hanging out with the rest of the sheep. You keep away, Pace. You keep away. The neighbour's sheep next door in Murray's paddock, there's 4 of them. So I helped Murray put this in his shed yesterday. This first bit here you can see has not been cut. And then on the next rise over we cut all that. Got 100 bales and we put that in his shed. My kid's enjoying the little sleep out. Hanging by it. Daddy goes to China in a week. Daddy goes to China in a week to represent New Zealand. Some whitewater kayaking. It's a whitewater race. I think it goes on for about 8 days. Come on, dogs, let's go. Come on, Pace. Well, we managed to go through all that without an incident, without a goat getting killed or maimed. Kombucha! Cheers, biggies.
This one is slightly tainted with wine.
Tainted with wine. Dayla, my daughter's going to teach me how to make kombucha.
This is my Scooby-Doo.
Okay. This is a Scooby, the bit at the top, is it? Mm-hmm. Okay, what's that?
It's a mushroom.
Right.
Or fungi. And it eats sugar. So in here, aside from the Scooby-Doo, is like a 1/3 cup of sugar that I have just put hot water on so it dissolves.
Yep.
And then put 2 tea bags of black tea just for the flavour.
Okay.
And then filled it up, the rest of the jar up with water to like make it that it's not hot, boiling hot. So it's sugary water with a bit of flavour. And now what the Scooby-Doo will do for the next 10 days is it'll slowly eat the sugar, the Scooby will grow, and it'll be putting probiotics into the liquid.
Cool, I like that.
You're going to have something that looks like this at the end.
Right.
And then you've still got the Scooby at the end, and you just do it again. You just reuse the same Scooby.
Can you break a bit of Scooby off and give me some that I can have? Oh, I want some Scooby.
But I think what I'll do, because this guy's kind of new and I broke him off already on my last batch, so this starts to grow. If I left this and kept feeding it, it would fill up the whole jar.
Right.
So every couple times I'll kind of throw out a little bit of Scooby.
Yep.
Just because it gets a little bit too much.
Mm.
But I'll leave you this jar to drink while I'm gone.
Yep.
And then this will brew, and when I get back from China, we'll harvest this, and it'll be a really big Scooby.
Right.
And then I'll give you a piece. But just let it grow for another 2 weeks.
This is great, because we need a probiotic and a prebiotic for the microbiome in our gut state to function well. Okay, I'm going to taste this.
If you want to have no sugar in it, you can feed your Scooby molasses. But that does have sugar in it.
Well, that's nice. It's almost like a sweet apple cider vinegar. Almost.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's got that'd be really good. Anyway, brothers, hope this one finds you well over the festive season. Have a great Christmas. And I'll just keep on doing these every time I pick up the phone, go for a walk. Because I can. Stay blessed. Go steady. Check on a brother if you know a brother that needs help. And we'll catch you in the next Bro Check Club video. See you later.